Peace to the peace to the tribe. Peace to the collective. See if it's okay. It is looking like it's supposed to look, man. How y'all doing out there, man? It is the Hood Mystic, and today I'm gonna take my time with this video and go through some things. This is a part 2. Got me a nice little board to kind of break some things down for y'all. Apologize for the technical difficulties at the beginning, but like always, take your notes. Take the information seriously, because if you was growing up and your parents did some shit and you didn't have the knowledge to kind of speak against it, you might have like championed some like stuff that wasn't healthy. So when we like get into certain conversations like psychology, astrology, and occult thinking, just understand it to be things that your mama and daddy should have told you, but they had their own shit going on and they never was supposed to tell you. And I'm about to break this down to you, and I'm gonna show it to you better than I can tell it to you. So what we have in this world is a multi-level understanding of existence. And for those of us who have eyes, we'll be able to see. And those of us who have ears will be able to hear. So it starts off with the soul, right? Before anything, you are a soul. In this moment, you are a soul. Okay? When you transition out of the body, your soul will still exist. You have been reincarnated into the vessel. Okay? The vessel consists of body, mind, and emotions. Emotions make you cry sometimes. Emotions make you sad sometimes. Emotions make you fall in love. So in this video, we're going to be talking about emotions and how you have to get over your emotions. And I'm going to show you. If y'all could look at this diagram with me, and I know my handwriting is messed up, but if this is where you at all times, the mind and the body, cool. But the emotions is keeping you from here. How you feel is keeping you from here. Now, you incarnating into this body is inconsequential to this, because you could incarnate it in any family, anybody, in any situation, any circumstance. Spirit means breath. Okay? When you look up the etymology of spirit, you get breath. Why is that important? Because if you're not breathing, how you feel, and God damn it, I read like I'm in the 3rd grade, and I actually write like I'm in the 3rd grade. So let's do this again, and let's act like we on TV. Body, mind, emotions. None of it is yours. Okay? None of it matters. How you feel, inconsequential. Now, if somebody step on your toe and it hurt, and you say, ow, I'm not going to fault you for that. But if you worried about your mama and your daddy, your baby mama and your baby daddy, your kids, and they bringing you down vibrationally, let me see if I can. So you got your emotions, your mind, and your body. Epic fail. But we gonna keep it going though. Most people that you come across, they are going to exist in the body, mind, emotional construct. When you get to conversations that involve breath and soul, the only thing that does matter, because when you deal with breath, you can't see breath. You can't buy breath at the store, right? You can't, they had little oxygen bars at the mall in like 2012. That stock plummeted. The most important aspects to your life right now, right in this very moment, are spirit and soul. But the most important thing that you focused on right now is your emotions. And so when we talk about love, when we talk about relationships, you're going to base your relationships on how they make you feel. You're going to base your relationships on how you think. Why is this a problem? Because you're going to miss out on getting into the relationship that you're supposed to get in, utilizing a natural process. I seen this disgusting video today on YouTube. This lady, she got this successful single academy and she got VIP members. So imagine waking up in the morning thinking I'm a VIP member at a successfully single academy. Now, I understand that you don't understand what I'm talking about right now. I understand that it goes in one ear out the other. But if you are a woman, you exist in a negative polarity. If you are a man, you exist in a positive polarity. What am I saying? As a man, you just got to keep going. As a woman, you got to chill the fuck out. Because if we understand emotions for men and women, it's unnecessary. Even when you think you love somebody, even when you think you really need somebody, when those emotions change, so does the relationship. And this is a tragedy because what we see is a product of relationships that's not like, but you got to also understand, before phones, we still manage to fuck. We still manage to hook up. Got to think about that. You got to think about, how is it possible if you depended on social media for hookups, dating sites for hookups? You got to start to think, how in the hell was I supposed to get some dick before Plenty of Fish? How was I supposed to get some pussy before Hinge? Right? There's a certain thing called magnetics. When you understand your magnetism, animal magnetism, the dogs don't got to get on dating sites. You so sophisticated in your ignorance, and it's making you look crazy. Something so simple as life, you got here from a simple process, up and down sex. You are forgetting the psychological processes of maintaining said relationships. So this is what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to deal with emotions, how they disrupt. Because once again, if I have a circuit board, understand you are a circuit board. Your spinal cord, with all of its kundalini, all of its central nervous system, all of its implications on whether you go up or down, left or right, is completely electrical. It's called electromagnetics. So if you are in a space where you feeling a certain type of way about some inconsequential shit, then you don't even understand how your polarity work, because you right in the middle of shit. literally, figuratively, and you're not getting nowhere in life. Because you don't understand that it is simple. You have to be the best version of yourself energetically. What do I mean energetically? I mean in the understanding of the soul. Because if you understand yourself as a soul, your emotions is inconsequential, because you got to deal with the facts of this shit. Your life as a black woman, your life as a black man does not fucking matter when you are a soul. If you can't get to this point as a black man, as a black woman, you got to get over the fact that what type of person you look like. Because I had a download in reference to the souls that transition and have to reincarnate and have to experience karma. A lot of that karma is because when they look in the fucking mirror, they don't even like what the fuck they see. How crazy is that when that shit don't even fucking matter? That shit is just a vessel. That shit is just a vehicle. You got spiritual people actually thinking they cute. Fixating on how much money they got. Fixating on what type of life that they're going to live in this lifetime. Listen, when you transition with that particular attitude, you will have a tougher time understanding the negative polarity of this existence. See, every night you have a chance to talk to God. Every night you have an opportunity to understand who you are as a soul. But you so concerned about what's going to happen in the waking life that when these opportunities come, you have dreams about what you did at fucking work. You be dreaming about work, dreaming about forklifts, dreaming about being in cubicles and things of that nature, because your mind, your consciousness has not been explained to you that whatever your mom and dad did was not the bee's knees. It did not ever fucking matter. As spiritual beings, whatever you look at physically, single, married, kids got snotty noses, kids are 5-star athletes. When you're talking about real deal spirituality, none of that shit matters. How much money you make, none of that shit matters. A lot of y'all get caught up in spirituality for the help of making you make some money or helping you fall in love. The reality of spirituality is that's like common sense. When you on your path, you gonna have somebody in alignment with you, and your finances is gonna be in order. Because another thing about being the best version of yourself is that you're not a lazy piece of shit. The best version of yourself is on task, available. The best ability is availability. At the end of the day, you don't even have to be smart. You have to breathe deeply and clear your mind. Be the best version of yourself, whatever that looks like. Not be afraid. The soul is specifically, when you reference the initiation point of soul consciousness, is Aries. Aries is a fire sign. Aries is initiative. Aries is a fire starter. The ignorant will say, my birthday in April, so I'm not an Aries. A spiritual being will say, well, I got all of the signs within me. So when it comes to how I present myself, how I express myself, Aries rules the first house in astrology. How people see you shouldn't be reflected on how much money you make, how cute you are, how tall you are, how sexy you are, how much motion you got, your emotions. Because when we get into the science of emotions, you'll be really confused on how these things actually play out in real life. Like, did you know that the things that you fear, you attract to you? It's people right now in your emotional body. When you deal with the astral plane, you're trying to digest your fears. You're trying to understand your fears. But the more you try to intellectualize and understand your fears, it's like walking into, you see a lion coming, right? And who walks towards the lion when it's charging towards you? What do you do when you see the lion come? You run the fuck away because you know the lion is going to eat your ass. So when you think, your fears, which is another anagram, false expectations appearing real, this throws you all off. Because you have a fundamental choice that you need to make as a spiritual being. Fuck all the dumb shit. You either going to choose love or you going to choose fear. You don't got no option in this shit. You don't get to say, well, when I find a man, I'm going to deal with love. Well, when I get some money, I'm going to deal with love. You have this moment, which is called consciousness, now, existence. All existence exists within you in this moment. You can choose to understand it, or you can choose to be afraid of a fucking entity or energy that you're bringing to you, because that's how this shit works. I had an uncle that transitioned not too long ago. When I was a little boy, my uncle was an alcoholic. I'm 39 years old. He transitioned as an alcoholic. He went 39 years never stopping. He was Kevin Gates. He never got tired of the bottle. But when it's all said and done, when we get to the logistics of the soul, never should you hold that against them. It's family members in your life right now that have transitioned, that you are trying to understand what happened in this particular construct, body, mind, emotional construct. As long as you try to intellectualize that, as long as you try to figure it out, you'll miss the point completely, and you'll end up just like them. Because we get a choice in this actual game of life. And it's a very simple choice that we make. Love or fear. In all situations, in all circumstances, you can choose to love. So what would be love in reference to emotions? Attention and intention and compassion, kindness. What is fear? Everything else. And we'll talk about it. So in our last video, the science and relationships part 1, which everybody told me we need to do a part 2, we talked about the specific charges that we know exist. We can bear witness to electrical charges. When your phone died, you put your phone charger, and the head of your charger, right, holds a positive charge. The tail of your charger holds a negative charge. Once activated by plugging it into a particular electrical port, that fundamental fact is the reason that your phone charges over and over and over and over again. So we can bear witness to negative and positive charges being the fuel for electricity. When we think about who we are as spiritual beings, our essence is electrical. The Hebrews called the god El, which translated, it was a root to the concept of electrical. Because every society, this is what we don't know and what we don't understand that we need to understand. Every single ancient civilization had electricity. We'll always have electricity. Electricity is going to be here after everything disappears, because it is a simple mathematical formula that'll never dissipate. When you disrupt and take apart a positive charge and a negative charge, and you pull it away from each other, that energy that it creates is called electricity. Everything that you want to happen, and understand, we live in a world that is as above, so below. So The soul below would be the internal or the inner or the occult within you. Understand, when you wake up in the morning, you are nobody else but your motherfucking self. Do you understand that? Do you understand the capacities of who you are? The facts that when you wake up, you are within this vessel. So then you have to begin to look at yourself as a spiritual entity that is electrical, that is operating a physical vessel. This is some very hot shit. Every cell in your body works and it works for you. That cell is working for you. That is everything you do to fuel the cells in your body. All of the cells in your body are representing what is called you. It is an intelligence that keeps every cell within you organized and functional so you can live an optimal life. The moment you transition, that situation no longer happens. The body is no longer if you were to think about that, that's crazy. From a whale to an insect to an ant. When you take that life force, the forces within you, shout out to George Lucas, when you take that life force energy out of an entity and that entity no longer exists, you think that the entity was the body? It was never ever the body. And whatever the body did, I mean, if they do something in this life and they need to go to jail, I ain't going to be the one that's going to be able to stop them no way. But when we are in an occult spiritual understanding, we should know that none of this shit fucking matter. And if we trying to make it matter, like matter, physical matter, don't matter. When you think of yourself, you must think of yourself as an electrical essence that is somehow karmically attached to the vessel called you, Charmaine Johnson III, Christian Rock V, things of that nature. We get caught up in the particular vessel and understand this is 99% of the people that you're going to deal with. They only understand life under these particular concepts. The body, the mind, or the emotion. When you talk about the soul or the spirit, you can't really fathom it. You can't really, I can talk about it with y'all, but I understand that, and you need to understand, I don't get it. You not going to get it. Ain't none of us going to get this part till we out of this part. So don't ask me about this shit. Don't ask me about this shit because I don't know. I'm here down here with y'all. I'm just giving you the schematics of Vedic science, Hindu science, Gnostic science, Jewish science, Ifa, Yoruba, Santeria, Voodoo, nigga. What the fuck? It's all the same thing. There is a plane of existence and there is a subplane of existence. Most human beings get caught up in the physical plane of existence. They imagine that everything in the physical plane of existence is all there is, and everything that they don't fathom, it just don't exist. So even it takes me to talk about it in an electrical scientific way, because that's the only way that it can begin to make sense to you. But at the end of the day, you got to even feel yourself as an energetic being. And it's hard for you to feel yourself as an energetic being if you look in the mirror and say, well, I don't look good. It's hard for you to look at yourself as an energetic being if you, my baby daddy, me and him didn't work out, so I cried myself to sleep at night. Things of that nature. I'm a single mom. Shit like that, right? But we grew up in the fucking 80s and the 90s, and that's all it fucking was. Nobody said shit. One's in the chat. You grew up in the 80s and the 90s. It was single mothers all over the place, but motherfuckers did what it did, regardless of anything. So all I'm saying is the particular shame that you have for being a single mother is coming solely from that fucking thing that you hold in your fucking hand. Because we all been in situations and implications where we seen a girl and the fact of her having a kid, that didn't never fucking matter, did it? If we liked her and she liked us, we like, damn, you got a kid? That's crazy. I would like to get to know him sometime. Like, what the fuck? But the internet have scrambled our brain like eggs. And now we looking at our situation thinking, well, I'm not fucking an influencer traveling to different countries every day. Something must be fucking wrong with me. And as a spiritual being, the emotional plane is not a plane for you. Because a lot of this spiritual shit ain't feel good shit. A lot of this spiritual shit ain't rainbows and roses and pretty colors. Some of this shit is crazy. When you start to think that you are the reason for attracting the shit that came in your life, so you got to figure out why you attracted that shit, and you got to begin to rework the shit, what about that is going to have you, smiling all the fucking time? Realizing that you are an attraction point to your chaos in your life. And it's all due to emotions. Emotions make you cry sometimes. Emotions make you sad sometimes. Emotions make you fall in love. Shout out to H-Town. So, if a positive charge and a negative charge interact, their forces act in the same direction, from the positive to the negative charge. As a result, opposite charges attract each other. Opposite charges attract each other. So once again, in the science of love and relationships, the thought of, I just want to find my person. I want to find somebody just like me. Sometimes if you old, you need somebody young. Sometimes if you're young, you need somebody old. Sometimes if you're dark, you need somebody light. Sometimes if you light, you need somebody dark. Sometimes if you're tall, you need somebody short. Sometimes if you're fat, you need somebody skinny. Right? Why? Because if we follow in the rules of science, opposites attract. So, don't say you don't want no big man and your ass ain't going to the gym. Don't say you want somebody that look good and you ain't doing no existential beauty shit. You just out here looking crazy, thinking somebody just going to magically like your ass. It don't work like that. Why? Because opposites attract. And then the reality of this conversation is that you're going to have to look at the shit that you've been attracted. And you cannot be blaming the niggas for the niggas that you are attracting. That's the toughest pill that I be like, don't nobody want to swallow that motherfucking pill. That pill will be sitting on the shelf forever. You are the reason. Well, no, I ain't the reason. This, that, and the third. Listen, when you was sad and lonely, you attracted sad and lonely niggas. When you was sad and lonely, you attracted sad and lonely girls. Now, when you are energetically vibrating on the level of your soul and your magnetic principle, and this is like you are committed to it, you showing the attention to it, you are being the magnetic receptive to divine masculine energy, you releasing all toxins from your body. Of course, every girl I know eat chicken. One's in the chat. Y'all love y'all some chicken. Y'all love y'all some fish. Y'all gave up the red meat. Good for y'all. Some of y'all still eat the red meat. I got low iron, things of that nature. Lion's mane mushrooms. Google it. Rich in vitamin D and iron. You don't need... Because when we talk about emotions, the emotions that you feel came to you from your mama, but not in the way you think. The first time your mama ever gave you a hamburger, before you came to a conscious decision on whether you wanted to be addicted to meat or not, them niggas was shoving meat down your fucking esophagus. So at the end of the day, you ain't have a choice. Now, when that animal was getting slaughtered, you absorbing all of that energy. This is where the root of all human emotions, negative emotions, come from. eating animals. When there is over 10,000 herbs and plants and fruits and vegetables rich in nutrients, what do you think these animals eat? If an animal don't eat another animal, why you gotta eat another animal? And the fucking cow is bigger than your ass. You ain't never seen a cow eat another motherfucking chicken because he was hungry. But he managed to get protein and get all big and shit. Why can't you just eat what the fucking cow eat? If protein is your problem, make it make sense. So, ain't no way you spiritual. Ain't no way you spiritual eating cows. Cause your emotions is going to get, you be like, well, I could eat cows if I want to. Tell me that you ain't fucking emotional and triggered and mad all the time and depressed all the fucking time. Cause you is not eating fucking grass-fed, Kobe, well-manicured, healthily slaughtered animals. You eating the shit from the factories in fucking Brazil where they fucking killing them shits every 10 minutes, 24 hours around the clock. Them motherfucking cows know from the time that they born how they life going in. And they dread in the day only for that day to come so your ass can eat a fucking steak and think that you had a good meal. Make it make sense. Now, of course, Spirit told me that the downfall of the indigenous population was the eating of the great white sacred buffalo. Once the Aboriginal Autochthonous people started ingesting a buffalo, the white man had free reign to come over here and take over this bitch as much as it could. And that's the lesson that the ancestors gave us. Every hell that we caught, we brought it on ourselves. That's the negative polarity of energy. Niggas actually feel victimized through slavery and not thinking, well, what the fuck did them niggas do to deserve that shit? How did they get caught slipping? And the victim mentality of not being in your soul consciousness will have you in the emotional body and will have you running around in a circle saying, I'm a victim and they are oppressor. I'm a victim and they are oppressor. And it'll bleed into everything in your life. Now your boyfriend is an oppressor. And now you oppressed. Now you a victim. People be talking about slavery like they was there. They be talking about that shit like they was there getting whipped and shit. Like, no, it ain't happen like that. Like, nigga, you don't know how it happened. You don't know how it started. You don't know how it continued. You don't know how it ended. How you know you're not a slave right now? Why would these people who enslaved you, whipped you on the back, for some reason, start developing compassion and love for you out the blue by some imaginary nigga with a hat and a weird ass beard called Abraham Lincoln? He supposedly freed your ass, huh? And you believe that shit. Make that make sense. At the end of the day, if you really want to get technical about that shit, you still a slave. Because you still calling yourself black. You still calling yourself African American. Ain't never been to Africa. Don't got no family in Africa. Imagine a nigga from Mexico saying that he was from China. I'm a Chinese American. You would look at that nigga crazy. You would be like, Hector, how the fuck you from China? You ain't never been to China. You would not let it slide. But somehow a whole race of people, 40 million people, came here as descendants from slaves. So if you believe that, then exit out my fucking video immediately, because you ain't gonna know what the fuck I'm talking about on this damn video. The reality of your soul, it transcends all the foolishness, all the coonery, all the chicanery, all of the buck breaking, all of the goddamn minstrelsy that you see out here in these streets. Because it ain't about what I got. It's really about what I don't have. See, when you able to release all of the physical energies and tensions that come with the body, mind, emotional construct, all that's left is the soul. But see, these spiritual niggas ain't going to tell you this. These spiritual hags, they not going to tell you this. They going to tell you The problem is you don't got a nigga. And if you got a nigga, your problem is you don't got money. And if you got money, well, they don't know what the fuck to tell you. They just stop talking to you altogether. They'll try one more. You need sisterhood. And if they don't get you on the sisterhood, you as good as gone. Out of sight, out of mind. So what we talking about is an electrical field and creating an electrical field. And I want you to find love. I don't give a fuck. I want you to find love with no game or no gimmick, right? I want you to find love because you ain't gonna be happy being in this bitch by yourself. This shit about to get crazy out here, and you gonna want some companionship. You gonna want to have somebody to watch the goddamn world in, right? So at the end of the day, it's not about what you have, it's about what you release. So let's talk about emotions. What are emotions, right? What is the technical definition for emotions? Emotions process information that aids in survival, and it impacts your welfare and requires an immediate response. So when we talk about emotions, there are certain understandings of emotions, such as emotional intelligence, right? Where a person understands a population's emotions. A person who is an emotionally intelligent person, is what we would call a leader. An emotionally intelligent person is always a leader. Because motherfuckers are crazy, and you 10 times out of 10, when you get triggered by people, you go into what is called fight or flight. Fight or flight is, I'm going to beat this nigga's ass, or I'm never going to deal with him again. Since you have not been taught through, a lot of schools is online, and if they are online, it's very de-escalated type of models of behavior modes. So you don't really get a chance to develop emotionally and how to respond to certain instances where you get triggered. So what I've noticed on Reddit and online, most are seeking a life where they lead, where they just never get triggered, because any trigger is automatically assumed the fault of the person that is triggering you, and never you of maybe I need to deal with these particular triggers. And as a spiritual person, you need to deal with your triggers, because your triggers are what binds you and blocks you in reference to your spiritual development. Emotions and spiritual understanding and metaphysical understandings is related to water. So when we ever connect water and electricity, you know what I'm saying? We all grew up watching movies where a dude be in the bathtub and his crazy wife would throw the radio in there, electrocute his ass, right? So that's what emotions do. But the overall internet propaganda is that women are emotional, as if y'all don't have no control over y'all emotions, thus keeping y'all bound to the 3D world, when I know for a fact that women are 5-dimensional creatures where y'all can get over all of the shit that you've been through, get to a space of meditating, drinking teas, grounding, being authentic, living in your authentic truth, and not feeling like your emotions are something to be avoided, right? Or to act like your emotions should be signified, because early in consciousness, before everybody started scamming y'all, there was a spirituality evolved women into their true nature, because there wasn't as much emotional pitfalls and it wasn't as many scam artists as there is now, right? It wasn't really Instagram either in the beginnings of the Black conscious community. So what would initially happen is that the name would change, right? The name would instantly change. an immediate understanding that their diet needed to change. No more hair products, all of these things. So you wasn't trying to bring modernism into what your soul had for you. You was really down to change and open yourself up to how your soul wanted you to live. But now it seems as though spiritual people, quote unquote spiritual people, have become a lot more emotionally intelligent and have figured out ways to lead people and guide people and lead people astray and guide people astray, because the reality of your emotions is that they should be conquered, not what is that word I'm looking for, championed or pandered to. Yeah, girl, whatever you say is right, things of that nature. And also emotional reliability. This is a big one, because if you are not emotionally reliable, then when a man deals with you or a woman deals with you, there's no telling on how you're going to behave or act or think, and the person is going to feel powerless in dealing with you because you aren't emotionally reliable. Now, if you're not emotionally intelligent, 10 times out of 10, you're not emotionally reliable, because somewhere down the line, you have been validated in your emotional expression. And so far, you think that is something of a strength, right? So this is what people would say, oh, my man, he better know how to handle me, right? My man better know how to handle me, things of that nature. Also saying that when she feels the need to behave how she wants to behave, she doesn't want to be corrected. So emotions, every emotion needs to be corrected, because emotions are illusions. When we think that we are in a space where if I get this, I will be happy, then we will work towards getting this. And everybody around you, because you told everybody that once you graduated from college, once you got the job, once you got a man, once you did this, once you did that, you would be happy. Then everybody is going to be like, well, hey, you happy? Yes, you finally happy. You finally did it. The cold hard truth is that your ass still not happy. So you got to go for your master's after you get your bachelor's. Your relationship got to get better. The money that you made, you got to make more money. The car that you got, yeah, it's in 2020, right? But it's about to be 2024 next year, right? When you got it, it was a brand new car. It was the thing that just made you feel good. Now you looking at it and like, damn, Mercedes got a whole new model out. Damn, my shit looking crazy. Motherfuckers looking at me like I'm kind of broke because I'm riding in the 2020. And you know damn well that the car payments is kicking your ass. So at a certain point, you get to a point where you thinking that if you get these material things, you going to feel good. Now, as a spiritual person, that's body, mind, and emotions. None of that shit matters. When you find peace with yourself, when you let all of this shit go, when you are okay because all you have is yourself, when you know how to show up for people, when you know when everybody see you, you're not giving them the fake smile. You really feel good about the shit that you've been doing with your life. So they get a natural smile. You don't even know they looking at you. You're like, damn, what you smiling for? What you smiling for? I'm smiling because I'm above and beyond my emotions. I'm above and beyond my mind and how I'm thinking. I'm above and beyond how I look, right? Because it's a lot of spiritual people that really is concerned about the image and how they actually look. And this is how they feel. And when you actually feel a certain type of way about how you feel, then you're not going to get to where? To the soul, to the spirit. And the fucked up part is that y'all trying to get the soul and the spirit to help you heal your body, mind, and emotions. But let's talk about this one more time. Before you existed, you was this, the soul. The soul and the spirit is separate. The spirit is the breath, but it still exists in the subplane. When you transition, you don't bring the breath with you, you bring your soul with you. But the breath is a vital component to life for you as a human being. So understanding, this is why meditation is important. One of the first understandings of meditation is listen to your breath. Concentrate on your breath. That will bring you into what is called the Holy Ghost, or the trance-like state. To then will have you talk to God. Simply understanding that you are the soul. The thing that keeps you from the soul is your car, your crib, your house, your husband, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your job. Watching, is a lot of people like, damn, 10 o'clock, Colorado come on football. I got to watch football, right? You would show up for fucking Colorado, Deion Sanders, but what time is you going to fucking meditate? You going to be attentive as fuck to that goddamn football game, eating popcorn and wings and drinking fucking limeritas and shit, having a good old time. But when it comes to actually dealing with yourself, it's later for that. I'm too busy for that. I got shit to do. I mean, I'm stressed out about my money, finances, I'm single, this, that, and the third. But let some shit you want to do happen. Then it is no excuse. So when you deal with your soul, it is a fucking party. It's the greatest event of all time. And this is how you got to think about your motherfucking self. This is how you got to think about yourself. It is the fucking main event. It is the party. Your soul. Because bringing your ass to a club in 2023 is crazy. Acting like you having a good time on them spinny things and shit like that, and y'all dancing and shit, that shit weird, and you thirsty for a good time. You are the good time. Your soul is the good time. Vibrating at a particular electrical frequency to see that light, to see that energy, to pull that truth into you by vibrating at a particular frequency beyond your emotions, beyond how you feel about yourself mainly. Because it could be, yeah, my girlfriend wasn't shit. But it's also an emotion that, listen, I'm going to tell y'all this straight up and down. When motherfuckers was getting girls in high school, it's because they woke up, took baths, brushed their hair, looked good, got new outfits, got new shoes, was smiling, talking, getting good grades, and the proper frequency for the pussy to come to them, for the niggas to come to them. You was in school, fucking hair all looking crazy, fucking bad breath, motherfucking feeling bad about yourself, energy not right, and you just hoping that a nigga just come spawn like it's fucking Fortnite and just take you to the prom. Don't work like that. Life was trying to show you that. You ain't picked the message. The reason why you don't pick up messages from spirit, or you just need a fucking haircut, or you just need to start working out, is because your emotions will tell you that it's something wrong with them. You 389 pounds, and there's something wrong with the nigga. Y'all know people like that right now. And you telling them, girl, it ain't you, it's him. And that's perfectly fine. But at the same time, you know it's not the truth. So, what are your goals? When you talk about emotional reliability in relationships, say for instance, you would say some shit like this. I don't care how much money the man make. As long as he X, Y, and Z, and he X, Y, Z, then I'll be there. I'll be his girlfriend, right? And then you get a nigga that's like, babe, can you order some food? Babe, can you buy some tickets? Babe, can we go out to eat? Babe, babe, babe. Your ass was the one who said that it don't matter how much a man make. You went to sleep. You told somebody this shit. You was in your heart center with that shit. It don't even matter how much a man make. But then at the same time, Oh, broke ass niggas ain't never got no money. I can't stand his ass. He can take me out to eat. Do you know it's my birthday and he ain't XYZ and I can't this, that, and the third? What if you said a man has to have this amount of money or be able to do this amount of thing for me? What if you said that? Then, when you met a broke nigga and you already knew that, then you would have never gave him no emotion. If you don't give him no emotion, you keep the flow going. The moment you give a man emotion, what a man is not going to do is turn down some free pussy. Period, point blank, end of the story. So, once you like a man, you gonna give him some ass because it's 2023 and the internet told you that you can just fuck out here in these streets and it don't fucking matter. It'll always be another nigga right behind him that's willing to take old boy sloppy seconds. So at the end of the day, you just out here living your best life. But at the end of the day, what does a positive relationship look like? When you out here going from nigga to nigga to nigga to nigga, you cannot tell me that you want to have a positive relationship with one man. You cannot tell me that you've envisioned how to maintain and sustain a long-term relationship. You can intellectually tell me that shit because you've seen it in a YouTube video. But the reason why you can't tell me that is because your emotions, you know how on this chart, body, mind, emotions, ain't no actions on here. You know why there's no actions on here? Because your emotions got your actions covered. If you don't feel like doing some shit, you ain't gonna do it. If you are emotionally not with the shit, then you won't do it. You can love the man. The man could be a good man, have money. You won't deal with them because you're not emotionally engaged. So we get to the reality of this particular thought. If you're not emotionally engaged, then you will not act. But if your emotions are aligned to the fear, because it's only two main emotions, fear and love. What anger is not fear. Anger is love. I'll explain that too. If a man don't get angry behind you or for you or at you, he don't love you. Because a man is going to get angry because he sees an obstacle. And anger is the only obstacle remover. Fear is an attractor. I'll give you an example. It's two men in jail. Is one man in jail angry because he's in jail? It's another man in jail afraid of getting beat up. One is anger. Two is fear. Which one of those dudes got beat up? The one that's afraid of getting beat up, or the one is pissed off that he got to spend 2 years in jail. And if anybody say anything to them, he gonna beat they fucking ass, or at least try to. Is he going to get into a fight in jail, or is the person that's just petrified of getting into any type of physical conflict with anybody? One or two. Two is fear, one is anger. Which one is going to get their ass beat? Fear is going to attract everything that you're afraid of. So if you mad about some shit, that's a whole different ball game. Cause some of y'all be so comfortable in y'all ignorance that y'all don't even be mad at your girl, at your nigga, at your kids, but then want them to change. You gonna have to get angry. I think it's a Tyler Perry movie. Is that Why Did I Get Married with Marcus? And Marcus had the baby mama and the wife was giving them shit, and the baby mama was giving them shit, and they was both giving them shit at the same time, and Marcus finally had to just be like, listen, bitches, shut the fuck up. You gonna do this, and you gonna do that, and this how it's gonna be. Soon as the kids come, you like, hey, babies, get in the car. Cause the thing of it, I done had some beautiful girls in my life. And the reason why they ain't fuck with me, they would tell me, you too nice. You too nice. You too nice. I ain't get it. Cause my mama raised me to be nice. My mama did not raise me to get no hoes. That's a gem. Cause some of y'all was raised by single moms. And your mom not going to raise you to get no girls. I mean, some moms will. But most moms going to try to make you into a nice guy. Girls don't like nice guys. Girls will be interested in a nice guy for a little bit. He end up being too nice. They can't really fuck with it. You got to be naturally angry, but not angry to a point where you gonna hurt people, or you not just angry at the world or angry at people. Motherfucker just got to know that if a motherfucker fuck with you, you will have you like a lion, right? Lions ain't fucking eating gazelles all fucking day, right? But if you poke with a lion at the wrong time, you walk up on the lion, he gonna motherfucking do what he need to do. But at the end of the day, the lion might play with his cubs, might get some ass, you know what I'm saying? Things of that nature, might have some fun, kicking with his lion homies and things of that nature. But at the same time, you're not always on the aggressive. Only when you have to. So, as a man, if you don't got no fucking edge, if you don't got no fucking aggression to you, you don't got no anger towards you, that's your problem. See, some men think it's the money. It's niggas with millions of dollars will getting divorced every day. I'll go even further. Only rich niggas get divorced. If you broke, what's the point of getting a divorce? You don't even got money to hire a lawyer. Niggas just stop fucking with each other when you broke. You still be married. You be fucking with a nigga. If you ever dealt with a nigga still married but not with his wife, the reason why they still married because they both broke as hell and they can't afford to get divorced. So if you met a motherfucker that got divorced, it was some goddamn money involved. Period, point blank. So money don't make nobody love you at all. Even if you think it is, it ain't. And for the ladies that's working hard, 60 hours, 40 hours a week, things of that nature, no knock, you got to pay your bills, you got to eat, things of that nature. But don't think that that's about to bring no man in. What you do? Well, I work, so right. That ain't a quality that a man's really looking for. Cause a man that's really in love with you, you could be an ain't shit motherfucker, and he could be the CEO of fucking Walmart. And if you hit his heart in the right chord and the right shoestrings, he gonna take care of you. Why? Because a man is in a positive polarity. A man will take care of you. A woman not going to take care of you, even if she got it. You can't be a man dealing with a woman for money, because she will look at you and she will buy some food for you one time. One time she might do you that solid, but it'll feel so fucked up to her spirit, she ain't gonna ever do it again. Now, you could be the type of dude that got girls and they look out for you and they pay for you. But if you if you that nigga, if you not that nigga, you not that nigga. And if you want a girl, you gonna have to support her ass. You gonna have to support her. You gonna have to be strong. You gonna have to do a lot. If you not that nigga, see, and we're talking about energy and electrical impulses. So it's a reason if you getting girls, you don't need no advice. You already getting girls. If you happy and healthy in your relationship with a man, you don't need no advice. But if you single and you projecting on your ex, you need to hear this. You need to hear this. Because somewhere along the line, you thought you was that girl and life told you that you wasn't. Somewhere along the line, you thought you was that nigga and life told you that you wasn't. Energetically, it's not true. And you may look the part, you may act the part, you may think the part, but you don't understand love. You don't understand spirit. And it's hard to understand spirit because emotions is so prevalent. Emotions create all actions. Every action that you do is from an emotion. So if you want to change your actions, you're going to have to change your emotions. Where do those emotions come from? They come from fear. They come from negativity. So when you look at fear and the negativity, you got to understand that your fear and negativity is creating your life in this moment. And if you try to fixate on money from a fear perspective, you'll just have less money. If you try to fixate on what you need and your energy is centered on fear, you'll just attract that particular negative polarity. And it's like a science, right? It's like the shit that's true. Cause you just know broke people. Every time you know people, you might know in yourself, every time you get paid, you broke. Or you don't got no motion. It's some people like can sell drugs. It's some people that can work 2 or 4 jobs. It's some people that can hustle on DoorDash. It's some people that can scam. It's all these particular things that you can do in reference to what you can bring in money that if you think like, well, I gotta do this. If I don't do this, I'll be homeless. Then your energy is fear and everything you do is fear-based. So every time you get money, you spend it. Because you ain't even thinking on the specifics of what your intention is financially. Sometimes you need to get the kind of car that is like, buy here, pay here. Sometimes if you got $1,000, that's how much you need to spend on your car. If you don't got $50,000 to buy a car, if you don't got $20,000 to buy a car, then you can't afford that car. But since everybody around you is pushing Dodges and Trackhawks, you think that it's perfectly fine to spend $800 a month plus insurance on a vehicle. And then you got rent. So you got rent and you got a high-ass car note. That's everything. All you doing now is just kind of like, just sitting there, sitting in your house on the internet. Hopefully you got an extra $50 for the internet bill, right? You barely eating, right? How you eating? I don't know. You probably selling ass on the side, opening up your 401k, shit like that at this point. Because if you got a car and you got an apartment, that's all your money. So how do you get out of this particular rat race? And then you would be like, well, it's the job's fault. You hate your job because they didn't give you enough money. But you filled out the application, went to the interview, went to the second interview, gave them 3 fucking, what's that shit called? Referrals. And this job actually called your referrals and shit. Yeah, some nigga called me from such and such, asked me about you. I said you was a real good worker, things of that nature. You come in there in your fucking best dress, and now you mad that they ain't paying you. Why did you get the job in the first place? Well, I felt like if I didn't get the job, I was going to be homeless. And I was thankful because I got that job right before I got evicted. So once I got my first paycheck, I've been paying my back rent. And I've just been on this cycle ever since to try to pay off my bills and this, that, and the third. And it's like, until you adjust your frequency from love to fear in all aspects of your life, you will keep on this small little circle. See, you think that you wasn't born to be shit. Your body, mind, emotions, friends, and family have reinforced the idea that you ain't shit, you ain't gonna be shit, and this how you live. In reference to your emotions, you think that you neighborhood with it, you think that you local with it, but your soul say, we goddamn intergalactic with this shit, we fucking on a whole nother plane of existence with this shit. You wouldn't even understand it because your feelings have you in such of a fight or flight, you working 40 hours, 80 hours a week, fucking on random niggas from Instagram and Hinge and back and forth from niggas and dates and working and all types of weird shit. You ain't had set no time for your soul. And how could you? Because your emotions is influencing every fucking action that you take. But yeah, in your mind you say, I want a nigga. In your body you say, you want a nigga. But you get the nigga every Friday. You hooking up every chance you get. So, at a certain point, your body and your mind, you really got to get over that. But your emotions, you got to really start to get into the space of, am I acting out of love or am I acting out of fear? Is this anger out of love or is this anger out of fear? And identifying the specific emotion that you are feeling. Is it disgust? Is it contempt? Is it greed? Is it jealousy? Is it envy? What is the difference between jealousy and envy? Things of that nature. Because you're being triggered by a specific emotion that's keeping you bound to the 3D world. And that's why you get really upset. Because you know that this is above or beneath you, but you are down or at its level energetically. And you know you are a 5-7 dimensional being. And you're not even supposed to be emoting on these lower level emotions. But the nigga that you with, you attracted him in your fear state. And now you got babies with him. Guess what? How are you going to figure it out? Love. Whatever fucked up situation that your fear done put you in, the only way you're going to get out of it is love. Because love extends up to 6 feet in diameter around you. This is why during Corona, they was making sure we was 6 feet in distance. Because they didn't want... More than they want you to see people, they ain't want you to even pick up on the electromagnetic energy of love, which we've been existed on for the past millions of years. You knew a girl was going to give you some ass before you even opened your mouth because her love frequency and her electromagnetic frequency pulled you into her. So everything you said, hey baby, she smiled. Damn, you look good. She smiled even harder. Can I get your number? Yeah. Can I come over? Yeah. Can I pull your panties down? Yeah. Can I stick it in? Yeah. It's just never know, right? And you knew it was all yeses because of the electromagnetic field. But that got disrupted in 2020, and now everybody is on some weird shit. So, once again, I want to end on this last point. And I want to say this too. If you look on the internet, you got alpha male strategies, you got Kevin Samuels, you got all of these particular men who are trying to pump up men and give men guidance and advice to get women. Now, there is no such thing on the internet for women to get men. Because women don't have to work as hard to get masculine energy. You might have to... Do you need teaching? Do you need guidance? Yes. But it ain't going to be from the internet. It's going to be from the man you with. Because the man that you are with, he needs to be loved in a specific, special, individualized, specialized way. You need to figure him out, learn him, and love him. Don't go into no relationship with a man already with a set way of how you going to treat them. That's the best game you ever going to get on how to maintain and sustain a relationship with a man. The worst advice you going to get is getting advice from somebody that don't know your motherfucking man. What can she tell you about me? What's she going to tell you what I like, what I need, what I'm looking for in my wife, in my better half? How's she going to tell you about me? How he going to tell you about me? Right? So, there is no specific instructions on how to attract certain things. But we need to be taught on how to vibrate high emotionally, because our brain is going to naturally vibrate low, and there is no course on how to feel worried. You never seen a how to be anxious class. You never seen a how to be more fear-based class. How to fear my environment. How to fear men more. Why? Because the brain is going to fear a man without you telling it to fear a man. The brain is going to be worried without you telling it to be worried. The brain is going to suffer from PTSD without you telling it it's going to suffer from PTSD. Nobody takes a course on these particular things. And what I'm trying to say is that the effort and energy that you put into raising your emotional frequency to enlightenment and eventually beyond enlightenment is going to take a lot of work, because because what you've been chasing is an emotional high, and what you've been really hoping to get and hoping to find is a benefit emotionally. The reality is that when you do get these particular things that you're looking for, you're still going to be looking for more shit. And if you don't get it, you're going to go into the afterlife wishing for something that even if you got it, it wasn't even going to make you happy, because the things that were going to make you happy were of the soul, and you didn't ever have to do shit to get to your soul. You didn't ever have to buy nothing to get to your soul. You didn't have to do nothing. You had to absolutely do nothing. And that's the work, to remove all of the distractions between your mind and your soul, because the barrier between your mind and your soul is your emotions. And when you remove this, your relationships are better, because you become the unequivocal soul polarity, and hopefully you're able to act from the love toward yourself, right? You're not supposed to do anything for anybody. When you were taught that you need to do this for this man and you need to do that for that woman, and you did that shit, what happened? What happened when you did everything for that person that you thought you were supposed to do, and vice versa? It didn't work. Why? Why didn't it work? Because it wasn't of the soul. So when you do stuff for people, just count that as a loss. Listen, you can be with somebody for 20 years. You could have gave them everything. You could gave them all the money in the world. Everywhere you went to, they went with you. Every meal you ate, they ate with you. But if their emotions change towards your ass, they don't give a fuck about that shit. All the things you did for them. They will be talking about their new boyfriend in the next minute, because in their mind, in their emotional mind, you're a bad guy, right? You could be a man that made money, and the woman said, you really ain't shit because you never around, right? And you could be the person that's always around, and the girl said, you ain't shit, you ain't never got no money. So you never know. So the thing for which you need to do is take care of yourself. Love yourself. And if a person decides to love themselves, and when they love themselves, they find you. And when you love yourself, you find them within. When you go within yourself, you can go deep within yourself and see the love of your life. It happens. It happens to me. I go into deep meditation, and I see a beautiful woman that I know. And I'm like, wow. And I told her, like, oh, when I go deep within, I see you. You know what she told me? When I go deep within, I see you too. That's love. And I'm not with that person. That person don't even talk to me no more. But at the same time, I understand. It don't mean, because I seen her, don't mean that she was supposed to be with me. But that showed me what I'm supposed to see when I go within. When I go within, I don't see her anymore. But at that particular time, I was on a mushroom trip, and I went deep within myself, and I seen her, and I called her, and I talked to her, and she said, when I went within myself, I seen you too. And that to me is love. When you service in your soul, and your partner is servicing their soul, that is love. And The problem is when you have emotions tied into it, you got to make me feel a certain way. And if we're not feeling a certain way, we'll ruin everything, right? And if we remove emotions, you give that person freedom to be the best version of themselves. And because they do that, it don't make you feel a certain type of way. So if you don't feel a certain type of way, why would you divorce them? Why would you leave the relationship? Because you don't have those particular emotions. So you could be with somebody or have been with somebody and you didn't need to leave the relationship. You could have stayed in that relationship. And you know it. But you let your emotions make the decision for you, which was centered in fear. And you felt like your fear was enshrouded with wisdom. But it just made you look like an idiot. And this causes you to be accountable for your life and your relationships. Because if you let emotions dictate whether you should stay with a person or leave a person, you're going to leave that person. So don't even lie to them. Don't even think that you're going to have a happy and healthy relationship just because you feel good today. Because I'm going to tell you, somewhere down along the line, some shit is going to happen and you're not going to feel good about that shit. I can tell you that right now. What you going to do? You going to leave. Okay? So you might as well leave now. Right? Because you thinking that everything is going to work out perfectly is not going to actually be the thing that's going to happen. So we got to get to a point where we can start to incorporate the soul within the black man and woman relationship, or else it's going to be a constant meme. It's going to be a constant struggle in our lives. And it's not hard. It's not complicated. And, you know, Spirit gave me a very clear, succinct message on how these things should actually work. But at the same time, you know, it's going to be hard for people because people are really emotional and they're the worst kind of emotional, fear-based emotions. So do your due diligence, do your research, and start to examine and go deep within your negative emotions. Don't validate them and wish that somebody can handle those emotions. Don't bring no man, no emotions, negative emotions that didn't bring no negative emotions to you, right? So with that being said, I hope y'all enjoyed the video. We're going to move into part 3 of, you know, understanding different aspects of love and relationships. One of the things that I'm very passionate about, one of the things that in my real life are the focus for me. And, you know, it's a lot of troubles and struggles in our love and relationships. So if this video helped you and assisted you, you've been listening to this video thus far, you know, heart this, like this, share this, subscribe to my channel. It's a lot of information, but at the same time, you know, I think this video probably like an hour, 2 hours. You got your whole life to get it right. You know what I'm saying? So another thing about emotions before I get off, you know, when you think about high frequency vibrations, they say time flies when you're having fun, right? And then the lower frequencies, you know, you might be at school and it just seems like you at school forever because you're in a negative frequency. You don't want to be there. Think about that when you think about your law of attraction. Are you in high frequencies? Are you doing the things that make you feel good? Or are you doing the things that make you feel like shit? And don't feel like you have to do things that make you feel like shit, because that'll be your energetic frequency. And understand that when you're in your low vibratory frequencies, then you are able to attract those low vibratory frequency entities. So when you are at a high vibratory frequency, same thing applies. But it's all related to how you feel about life, how you feel about yourself, and getting out of the body, mind, emotional complex. All right. So hope y'all liked this video, enjoyed it. From my heart to yours, y'all have a great day. Peace.